This is the next rule. The brakes are not your savior. I'm back. You can't depend on your brakes. Most people are taught or instinctively, if anything is going wrong, they see something they don't like, they get nervous, whatever it is, they usually hit the brakes. Like you will literally see people. I witnessed this just the other day. Every time a car passed, this person pressed their brakes. It was just like, what? But people are so dependent on the brakes, not realizing that the brakes can actually be their doom, can actually make it worse when something goes wrong. The best example that you can see, and I'm probably going to add some videos, some wipeout videos that I can find. And what you will see in all these wipeout videos is that you'll see the car get a little squirrely, and then you'll see them brakes come on. And as soon as you see them brakes come on, the car completely wipes out. And I've made that mistake. I remember, I will never forget this. I was bringing my car in for service. My car is all-wheel drive. I've only had all-wheel drive Infinities. So at this time, I was bringing in my, what was it? Was it my G35X or was it my G37X? It was one or the other. I was bringing my G35X or my G37X. I think it was G35X. Yes, it was G35X. I was bringing my G35X in for service. They gave me, I had a 2005 G35X, and they gave me a 2007 or 2008 G35 rear-wheel drive. And it was just on-ramp that I always kind of took a little fast, because, I'm in an all-wheel drive car, and you can get away with some stuff in an all-wheel drive car. It's way more forgiving than the rear-wheel drive Infinities. So I usually took that one pretty fast. The road, was, I wouldn't say it was wet, but it was damp. It was damp. So with the all-wheel drive car, I almost had zero fear going into that dampness. But with the rear-wheel drive car, I came and took that same curve, and the back end kind of came out. So basically, I was in a which should have been controllable drift. But I panicked and I pressed the brake. Soon as my foot glided onto that brake, the car, instead of the car just a nice little drift, it just stepped out. As soon as I touched the brake, the car went whoosh, and I did a whole 360, just like that. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And that was my first lesson. And luckily, I didn't hit anything. It was nothing but just wide open road. All I did was do a 360 in the road. And I guess that might be some luck of me not getting an accident right there. That's a good luck story. But hit that nice. The drift probably looked so good, like I was doing it on purpose. Hit the brake, spin, just like that. And y'all like, well, what? What happened? I hit the brakes. I mean, why did the car spin when I hit the brake? Well, you got two reasons why. It's more than two reasons, but I'm gonna stick to these particular two reasons. So first of all, most people don't realize that when you hit, we're gonna go to like fundamentals of just like car physics. When you hit the brakes, you shift weight onto the front tires, which makes the front tires actually have more grip because more weight, more grip. But when you shift weight to the front, the back tires actually have less grip. So when I hit the brakes, I took all the grip away from the back tires and gave it to the front tires. And then I spent right on that pivot, right on around. That's what happened. So the brakes actually caused the spin. I would have never even spun. I was perfectly fine if I never touched them brakes. All I was supposed to do was let off the gas. That was it. When you let off the gas, what happens? Weight shifts back to the back. So I would have had more grip on the back tires now. And so instead of that drift, would have just came back straight if I had let go of the gas. I wasn't even supposed to touch the brake. So you see all these guys, they come out, you always see the meets where the guy will try to do a little quick drift out of the parking lot, and everybody's always recording those. And you get to see the habitual people who don't understand that the pressing the brake shifts the weight to the front of the car, which makes your front tires have more grip than the rear, then you spin around. So they do it. They come out the thing and they all, oh, I'm hitting my microphone, but they all, man on the man pedal, and they step out, and then they feel like the car is going to go around, and they panic. They touch the brake, and then they completely go around, or they kind of step out, and then the car might do a little wiggle because, the diff might not be that good, maybe it's wore out from them, constantly doing this thing. So the car kind of does a little wiggle. Instead of just letting off the gas and steering where you want to steer, they panic, they hit the brake, so the car goes wiggle, wiggle, and then when they hit the brake, shoof, they go around because they don't know this fundamental physics of the car. So they think the brakes is going to save them. No, does not save you. Make it worse. Same thing with a hydroplane. People are driving on ice. Maybe the northern people probably all know this, but I'm in the South, so we don't know. We don't ride on ice and stuff that often, or snow that often. We get a lot of rain, but most of us got rain tires. We can handle the rain. Well, most part we can handle the rain. So we don't know about these little things of not pressing the brake. People up north probably going, oh, this is, whatever. But anyway, you got the hydroplane, and the car is starting a hydroplane, and it's, sliding to one way or another. When you hit the brake, you lock up a tire. You lock up a tire, and now whatever you were doing, you just exaggerated it now. Because the other tires might have had enough grip to maybe you get a little slight turn like that, and then you kind of and get it back straight. But if you get the little slight movement, you hit the brake, now, shoot, all around, because you just shifted the weight of the car and moved where the grip was. Second reason, ABS. So anti-lock brake system. So the anti-lock brake system is supposed to basically counter you from doing that. So you don't stomp on the brakes, but then the ABS goes, no. We're not going to lock up the tires. Because that was dumb. Why didn't you do that? But then ABS, start doing a little pulsating. You'll feel it in the pedal. It's pulsating because you hit the brake too hard. So when you feel the pulsating on your foot after you hit the brake, that means you hit it too hard, and the ABS is basically making up for your mistake, right? In a straight line, ABS pretty much gonna help you. It's gonna do its job. It ain't gonna throw you out of the way. But one of the things that ABS is supposed to do is supposed to allow you to be able to brake and still steer the car, right? So you're like, well, cool. Well, it should help you. The problem is, and this goes back to those guys coming out of the meets and stuff, they'll go and hit the brake real hard and their steering is turned. Now, ABS system goes, oh, you wanted to turn right. So it's going to start braking the tires in a manner to help you turn right. Spin. So you got stability, not stability control, but yeah, that's right. Stability control will try to counter that. So you made a mistake and you got to turn the wheel this way and you slammed on the brakes and the car is like, we don't want that type of slip angle or that type of yaw rate. And it'll try to stop you. But usually when you're doing something dramatic, it's too late. It's just gonna exasperate the problem. So the problem is you got the wheel turn when you slam on the brake. ABS kicks in and goes, oh, you want to turn right. And it's going to help you. I've experienced that too. And I remember, this is once again one of my close calls. I was coming down this road. It was one of these clear, empty roads. And I turned the wheel. And for some reason, I felt like I was going a little bit too fast for the turn. And this is where I started like paying attention to this. When I first experienced it, I pressed the brake because I was like, I think I'm going too fast. So I started pressing the brake. From driving track and autocross, you learn to be smooth on your inputs. So luckily, I was smooth with my input. But being smooth on my input, I pressed the brake, and as I was turning, soon as I pressed the brake, that back end unloaded and immediately started drifting. And then I immediately let off the brake. Soon as I let off the brake, car went back to what I was expecting. I was like, what the hell? And I remember, like, I was like, why did it do that? It should have just slowed me down. Nah, it was trying to help me turn. The ABS was trying to help me turn. So it turned the car even more. Along with me loading up the front tires where I wasn't supposed to, and the ABS, because I hit it just enough to kind of, one of the tires kind of like slid a little bit, because I was probably going too fast on the turn. But I pressed the brake into the turn and it turned the car even worse. And I was like, man, these brakes gonna be the death of me. Think about that. The brakes gonna be the death of me. So you can't just rely on the brakes as your panic thing. Yes, they build in all the systems to help you with the panic stops and stuff. Like I said, in a straight line, if you panic stop, ABS is going to probably save your ass. But once you got that wheel turn, if you slam on the brakes with that wheel turn in any direction, ABS is going to most likely work against you. It's going to make whatever is happening worse. And this is something that's not taught. I wish they would talk kind of like limitations of these things, of these safety systems. Now, are they so much better nowadays? Yeah, they better nowadays. And but do you want the car to drive for you? I mean, and just cancel out whenever you do something dumb? I mean, that's kind of where we're going. It's kind of where we're going, but that's a whole other topic. But so these ABS systems, I mean, they can only do so much to help a bad driver. So remember, what I want you to remember is don't slam on the brakes when you're in any type of slipping situation. You let go of the gas. Just let go of the gas before you hit the brakes. And then if you can practice this, and it saved my ass. I probably need to show this video. I was going to show it in another rule, but maybe I'll show it here. but it saved my ass. I let go of the gas or the accelerator, try to get the car under control. If you do need to hit the brakes, get your wheels straight before you hit the brakes. I mean, this start coming into like fundamental track driving. They'll try to do straight line braking before they'll do as much braking as they can in a straight line before they turn. I mean, that's kind of like a fundamental thing they do in track driving. But but it applies on a normal road too. The brakes are not your savior. But letting off the gas first, then hit the brake. Let off the gas first, see what happens. Because the car might just be unsettled. So you let off the gas, you kind of let the weight shift back, to a neutral position. But when you hit the brakes and you shift that weight and dramatically shift the weight, the car is going to spin. So that's all I wanted to get across on that. The brakes are not your friend. Let go of the gas first. All right, y'all, let's stop these accidents.